Hi everybody, Dr. Albert Snow here, Holistic Gastroenterologist. Hey, how come you hear me saying to people, I'm glad you're still suffering? They're taking a drug, prescribed by their doctor, Remicade or something like that, and they're still suffering. Or they still have those terrible diarrhea, bleeding. How come I say I'm glad you're still suffering? Why do I get these weird moves like, you're glad I'm still suffering? What are you talking about? Here's why. You're suffering from a lack of mucosal lining where the acid that you release when you eat food is secreted, and because it's not being blocked by our mucosal lining, which has been destroyed by antibiotics, and you didn't replace it, the acid is strong enough where it'll eat a hole right through your gut. But every time you do eat, it digs deeper. Or drink water. So here's why I say I'm glad you're still suffering. When you take a drug, all it does is really shut off the signal called symptoms. So let's just say you take a drug and it says it's great, I have 0 symptoms. Wow, I'm impressed. And even though me or other people will tell you, well, you don't want to be on the drug, I think all of us would, know that we don't want to stay on the drug. But when you're not getting any symptoms, it's hard to get off that drug because you can't justify it. You were suffering like hell, now you're not. You have to go to a prom party, you're going to college, you have to work, you have to do all kinds of things, go to a wedding, travel on a plane, and you keep putting it off. Well, hey, I'm doing great, I don't have any blood, I don't have any pain. Then month turns into month and years into years. Next thing you know, it's 5 years down the road. Even though you haven't been getting the signal, the sign that, hey, there's something wrong over here, that's why we're having diarrhea, to catch your attention, you're not getting any signal because the drug is shutting it down. Meantime, the destruction to your colon continues. Yeah. Right now, if you eat, say, a burger and it doesn't agree with you because you have inflammatory bowel, you'll get some kind of a flare-up, something that says, well, you better not do that again, and you make the adjustment. When you take a drug, you don't get that signal. That signal is telling you basically this is where you're at. You're getting close to crossing the line here. But when you don't do that, when you take a drug and you don't get that signal, that symptom, you have no idea that you're crossing the line, and that's who ends up losing their colon. Because you're stopping the very thing that would be warning you against something devastating happening by blocking that with a drug. And you don't realize the territory you're in right now, you probably never get out of. So that's why I want to warn you. The reason I say I'm glad you're still suffering is that it makes you so you'll look for some more alternatives. You'll say, this stuff sucks. I can't live like this. So you go looking for an alternative, and hopefully you don't find any old naturopathic doctor. Hopefully you find me. The naturopathic doctors you would contact don't know this. We need to replace the mucosal lining, block that acid, and rebuild the underlying tissue. If you don't do that, you have 0 chance of recovering. 0. There is no other way. There really isn't than the GI cure. It's about having or not having a mucosal lining. If you don't have it, the tender skin is exposed to your stomach acids, which eat a hole in it. You get IBS, Colitis, Crohn's. And if you don't do this because you don't know you need it, you end up with a perforation. I've seen many of them. So I love constipation, I love diarrhea, for the reasons that they give us a signal. Something needs to be done. It's tangible. You can read it every day. Oh, I'm constipated, yeah. Or I have diarrhea, yes. But when you're taking a drug, you have no idea what's going on. You have no idea how close you are to the line of not surviving. That's who has their colon removed most often. People who are on an extended period with the biologics, because they're not getting the signal that something's gone much more serious. All right, that's a quick hitter for our inside crowd in the knowledge base. It's called I'm Glad You're Still Suffering. One of my favorite compositions.